everybody, welcome back to the Two Dudes Talking Motorcycles podcast. My name is Mitch. You can follow me on Instagram at Meets to the Beach.
And my name is Gleb, and you can follow me on Instagram at GlebLapham.
And we always have our socials at tdtmotorcycles on Instagram, or you can email us questions, comments, concerns, tdtmotorcycles@gmail.com.
And welcome back to 2026. We're off to a little bit of a late start, but we're here now, so you're stuck with us. And hopefully everyone had a nice and safe New Year's. If you live in a warm climate, I always wonder, I'm assuming people go and ride a motorcycle on New Year's Day, especially if it's a holiday.
I would, so.
Yeah.
Especially
Shoot some fireworks off the motorcycle, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not legal, but I'm sure it would look dope. Just strap them onto the front.
Yeah.
Like shooting forward.
Like the Roman candles.
Out.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Pop a wheelie down Main Street.
Or pop them like facing upwards on the back of the bike. So they're just like shooting up behind you. Don't do that. I'm sure it's illegal. But it sounds
It's
cool.
Definitely illegal.
It would make a dope photo. I feel like.
Yeah, it would.
But,
close, safe track. But
yep, exactly.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't catch anything on fire. Welcome to 2026.
Yeah.
New year, not new us.
No, we're
same
still,
old us.
Same old, yeah.
Same old podcast. Today we were going to talk about just like a grab bag of random topics, I feel like, just to start off the year. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is kind of new motorcycle laws that potentially have gone or enacted throughout the country. I, however, was not able to find as many as I thought I was going to.
Yeah, and for us and for anyone in Utah, this is what's going to really... You got to look up your own local state laws and everything.
Well, I did. I tried to look through online to see if any new states passed any laws, because usually, like, if there was something new passed, it would be enacted, like, at the start of the year.
Yeah.
Because I think there was a few states last year that, put in lane filtering...
I don't know if it was last year that we talked about or the year before, like Montana's new laws.
I think it was the year before. I think last year Colorado may have added lane filtering to their books as well.
Yeah.
So my goal was just try to see and find out if any other states have like done something similar, but I really couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
Like everything was either states that have done it previously, and I wasn't even looking specifically for lane filtering, just any new laws in general
pertaining to motorcycles.
But I couldn't really find anything, and but I did find one thing, and that's specifically affects us here in Utah or our Utah listeners. But Utah explicitly made lane splitting on the highways, which Utah defines as any roadway that
like 2 or more, like 30.
No, like any public roadway that's made for vehicles to travel on.
Oh, yeah.
Basically. Made it so you can't lane split or pop wheelies. The wheelies one, I get.
Yeah.
I get. I don't feel like it looks cool. Sure. I can't pop a wheelie.
Yeah.
I'm too big of a chicken.
This part doesn't really affect us either since we don't pop wheelies. We can't.
But I do think while I do think it's like fun and cool if you're doing like maybe off-road or maybe like somewhere where there's like no other
or if you're
cars
like a
lot
and you're stunting with friends or
something.
something. Yeah.
Like a parking lot, or sure, like even if you're like out in the mountains or out in the desert where there's like no one else around you.
Yeah.
I don't really no one's going to care.
Yeah.
But we've seen plenty of people do it on like
it's on the highway, on the streets.
Like on the highway or in the streets, just like people are trying to like either drive in their cars or just like enjoy a nice meal outside or something like that, and someone comes popping wheelies up and down the street. It's kind of obnoxious.
Yeah.
It's kind of obnoxious, and I feel like it puts a lot of it can put a lot of people other than the rider at risk, especially if they're being reckless and don't know what they're doing and then lose control and hit a car or a person or somebody's property. So that part to me makes decent, like pretty good sense.
Yeah. No, I see like the argument for it, obviously, like especially from a public safety standpoint and everything, but
there's really no reason to pop a wheelie on the public road. It's not like a safety thing.
It's a stunt. Yeah,
it's a stunt.
Yeah. So
if you do it out where there's no one else to get hurt, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're doing like middle of a busy downtown road, then probably don't.
Yeah, like if you're just going to impede traffic, if you screw up or something, I don't know. But
now lane splitting, however, I feel like is a different story. So I feel like there's like a lot of nuance to lane splitting in general. Mm-hmm. One, there's a really obnoxious lane splitting where everyone's driving like the speed limit, traffic is moving fine. Then you have someone like barreling down the highway like 20 miles an hour faster, just zipping and weaving in between cars. Very reckless, very dangerous, potential to not only hurt the rider, but also like a car, injure a person. I mean, the rider's still probably going to be the most injured
for sure, but
in a situation, but there's still plenty of things that could go wrong.
Yeah, but even and even if it's not like a road rage incident, like if you're going barreling through and you like you scratch someone's car, you take out their mirror, it's like you've now caused property damage.
Yep, you cause property damage. You have potential to cause a wreck, like snowball into a bigger wreck, and so many other things. Yeah, but I do think there is nuance to lane splitting when it comes to like slow moving traffic and gridlock. So currently in Utah, you can't even filter on the highway, on the freeways at least, or any road that's 45 miles an hour or faster than 45 mile an hour speed limit, or any like interstate freeway or anything like that, or any road that doesn't have more than 2 lanes in the same direction of travel, which I feel like is one. I feel like that should be increased to include roads that are faster than 45 miles an hour that also still have stoplights if you want to filter, but also should include like freeways, especially if it's like gridlock. Traffic's not moving or traffic is moving really slow.
And set like a speed limit for lane splitting too. That would be like more. I don't know, it'd be better for the riders, and
I think so too.
Well, and traffic.
Especially like in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, it's a warm summer day. I'm driving on the highway. Somewhere up ahead, there's an accident, some road construction, cars in the grid, like everyone's standing still. Yeah, I'm on a bike. I see a nice gap between cars that I could keep moving through, keep air going through because it's hot. Yep. Keep my bike moving, and then also I'm like closing that gap between me or giving room to another car. I think that should be fine within a certain like speed. Yeah. Like you're not zipping between cars. You're just casually like cruising slightly faster than them.
Yeah. Or if it gets you out of the grid, it relieves gridlock as well too. Less, you got more people who can still keep moving if they're on a bike.
Exactly.
That kind of thing. Like this is a straight out ban though. Like,
yeah. So Utah was already like lane splitting was illegal. This just explicitly puts it on the books to clarify like what the punishment is and what they define lane splitting as. But I think it should be allowed to a certain degree on like highways and faster roads, especially if the traffic is already moving really, really slow, like maybe 10, 15 miles an hour or less. And then the bike can go like up to 15 miles an hour or 10 miles an hour faster. Yeah, just to like cruise through in between the cars while still paying attention to make sure no one like merges in front of them. Well, then it's still like it'd be a safe speed. You're still maintaining safety, but like, you're not restricting people on bikes and and making them sit out in 90-degree weather and gridlock. Exactly. And also on like roads that are 45 miles an hour speed limit or faster, like you can't filter on those even if they have like a stoplight or like regular intersections, which I think should also be like expanded to be able to lane filter on those, because the whole idea behind it is to prevent motorcycles from getting caught in the rear end collision. Faster road means a faster rear end collision, which to me doesn't feel like it makes enough sense to force the bike to sit in the back of the traffic on a faster road when they can just as easily filter to the front like they could on the slower road. Well, like if you've been on those roads that are faster than 45, heading out west or something, like Bader Highway. Yeah, it's like how many when people hit lights, people are always slamming on their brakes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And to me, it just doesn't make sense. And I saw one time somebody like posed a question on, I think I saw it on Reddit maybe a few months ago, like last summer sometime. And one of the comments said like, well, it's because, it's a fast road and you need to be able to like get up to speed fast if traffic starts moving. Like, it's a bike. Yeah. It's going to get up to speed fast. Trust me. Even the basic, like, even the Grom will still get up to speed fast enough, and we'll get up to like 55 miles an hour. Yeah, it's speed limit. It's not going to be a problem for most bikes. Like, so I just think it's kind of a backwards way of thinking. Like, yeah, you can filter on slower roads, which is great, but there's a lot of roads here that still have stoplights that are way faster than 45 miles an hour. Yeah, and then you can't do it on that, even though the impact getting hit from the back is probably going to be much, much worse. So there's an argument to be made there to have that expanded, which I think makes sense. Yeah. And also like splitting at a super, super slow speed just to get ahead of the traffic.
Yeah. Which I would, I'm never a big fan of just like restricting every single movement, like putting in writing, like you can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think the riders should have like some like say in like what in operating their own vehicle safely.
100%. I agree.
Yeah. And lane filtering is safer.
It is. So, yeah. It helps with rear end collisions.
Yeah.
And then the other one, the other law, there's three. There's like lane filtering, the wheelie, and then license plate. And license plate law basically makes it so the license plate like has to be clearly visible, fully clearly visible, so you can't like tuck it in under your fender or really far behind your back plate.
Well, I've seen the people like, you know, coffee shops and stuff, they have it like on little hinges.
Yeah.
And so it's like it has a magnet on it and they just stick
flip it up. So that's a no. That I'm pretty sure some of those things like the flipping up and the magnet hiding, that's already might have probably been like skirting the law or if not outright illegal.
Well, it's definitely like playing with the rules at least, you know, like I'm not super clear on how the law was before, but
I'm not either. But that also kind of makes sense. So it has to be clearly visible. It can't have anything like intentionally like covering it up or make it easily covered up. It has to be visible. However, in the bill itself, it does say there's an exception for if you have like luggage racks, luggage, another person, or things that might like outside of like external accessories that might
block, quote unquote,
that might block it or like obscure it a little bit. So there is an exception for that. Basically, as long as it's still mounted like where the manufacturer intended it for it to be mounted, it's okay. Yeah. Even if the luggage and stuff is slightly obscuring it.
I mean, even with, I mean, you know, I put that tail tidy on my bike this year and like, it's still visible, you know, so it's like, I'm good there. But I wonder for any of our friends or anybody we know that's got their plate tucked in.
I feel like, so if you are in Utah and you're listening to this, you might want to just double check this in case. These are traffic infractions, but they are, so like, was it the first offense?
Up to 90 days.
Up to 90 days.
Like they'll revoke your
motorcycle
they'll suspend your endorsement.
For up to 90 days. Second, 180 days, and then third infraction, they can take away your endorsement. Now, I'm sure there's like leeway or nuance or letting off with a warning, like, hey, if you get this fixed, like, here's a warning. I don't know. You used to be a cop, so
I mean, you'd hope people would do that, but again, it's really going to depend on like what they're being. You know, it is a way to get another infraction. So, but I kind of get it because come on, we've met people, we've seen the bikes. People's like, there's really only one reason you want to hide your plate. You know, and all of these things that we've talked about, they're all infractions and they all have the same penalties across all of them. I think the license plate one is probably going to be the easiest. Like, well, I guess wheeling and license plate one, like, easily preventable. Splitting, I feel like I can still see plenty of people doing that, especially like if it's heavy traffic and direct sunlight, middle of summer. Well, even that, like 100%, and that stop and go gridlock, because again, like every time you stop and go, that person behind you, they're going to stop and go, and these idiots are going to be on their phones.
Could potentially hit you, but also like a lot of people still ride like air-cooled bikes, and that's also really bad if you're just sitting there and not moving and the engine's running.
I would say like, I would say being broken down on the highway because your bike overheated, sitting still is way more dangerous than lane filtering and gridlock. Or lane splitting and gridlock, I mean. So,
I agree. So that's pretty much the only new laws regarding motorcycles that I was able to find. If I did miss some, please let me know, but I kind of comb through. Usually there'd be articles about it, but this was the only one that I really was able to find. And then the other this isn't a law, but it is a regulation update. It comes from FIM, and that's the motorcycle racing like regulatory body basically. And that is the new FRHP HE02 standard. And the FRHP stands for FIM Racing Homologation Program. And basically it's a new standard for motorcycle like racing helmets. So if you want to participate in a motorcycle race, whether it's MotoGP, World SBK, endurance racing, and I think numerous other racing organizations will probably follow suit. Those are just like the big ones. But basically, all helmets going forth from 2026 has to have this FRHP2 certification, and basically this like holographic sticker that's in the helmet. And the new standards include they look for real crash scenarios instead of just straight on hits. They use anvil tests to simulate glancing blows, and that's to measure like rotational forces that are experienced on the head in the crash. They also determine how the brain reacts to like a curved surface of the inside of the helmet, and then also introduced the skull fracture criterion, which measures the risk of your skull cracking under heavy impact. So all those helmets have to meet those new standards to be able to participate in a race. I mean, if you're just riding out in the street and you're not racing, it doesn't really apply to you, but I just thought it was a interesting little tidbit too.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure like a lot of those standards also like end up trickling down to like regular helmet. All these technologies, they make a racing helmet version, then pretty much make a consumer version of that helmet too with those same safety standards. So I feel like it just affects pretty much all the riders down the line.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always down for more testing when it comes to like safety stuff, especially with helmets and everything.
And I believe like I want to say a couple of years ago, maybe 2023, the new ECE 22-06 standard was enacted. That's for like the European helmet and safety certification. And that one also includes a lot of like things that measure rotational forces and other impacts on the head versus just direct impacts.
Yeah. And
we've had a whole episode on like safety certifications a while back. We talked about like the different motorcycle like gear, but specifically like helmet regulations.
Like what it was made for, like what they're trying to standardize, like for whatever those helmets are being used for.
The EU has the ECE. I think the UK has like the Sharp standard, which is kind of similar to ECE, but like has its own couple of load tests. Here we have DOT, which is Pinky Promise.
Yeah.
And then I think like a lot of countries have their own. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think we've talked about on that episode how like if you were buying a new helmet, we'd look for the ECE standard.
Yeah.
Versus like just the DOT sticker, or at least check to see if that same model has the ECE standard in like European markets, because it might not list it as having that in the US market, but it meets the requirements because it's essentially the same.
Yeah. And what was the other one that we were obsessed with when we first started riding, like getting like the higher
Snell?
Yeah.
So yeah, my helmet is Snell rated. Snell, I came to find out like it's still better than DOT because it's actually tested, but it was primarily developed for
it's just blunt force, if I remember right.
It's because it was primarily intended for like car racing. And stuff for car racing, and where your head's more likely to hit like something in the car on the side of the head or the helmet, versus a motorcycle where if you go down, your head's kind of like tumbling with your body and rotating. So I feel like for motorcycles, like it's still better than DOT, but I would probably still look for like that ECE standard or Sharp or the FIM standards.
I think we've mentioned too, it's just like being DOT certified is like, good for you. It's, I would say at the very least you'd want like
there's a good video that Fortnite has on their channel that kind of explains all of these different certifications. And while like a lot of good helmets from like notable brands here in the US are DOT certified because you have to, there is no like and they do have to meet like a certain standard that the DOT has released, but it's more of like it's up to the manufacturer to test that. It's up to them to like say it's certified. The DOT can like fine them, and if they find out later on, but it's more of like, hey, it's DOT certified. Because I've seen like $50 helmets at Walmart that say they're DOT certified. And I'm like, I'm not trusting my head in this thing whatsoever. This is styrofoam.
Yeah, well, that's like that one helmet.
Not like big dense styrofoam that's in actual helmets, but like
softer
packing peanut styrofoam.
Well, it's like that helmet I got. It was cosmetic. It was like on Amazon for like the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, like the leather style looking helmet. And it's like, oh, DOT is like, no, it's. I wasn't expecting it to be that bad.
It was pretty bad.
Like that, like you could like push that styrofoam in, like with no force. Like that's not saving anything. Yeah. That's softer than like a pedal bike helmet.
Yeah. So just something to keep in mind. But like I said, this specific like FRHP standard applies mainly to racing standards. But, you know, maybe you want to get into racing. So maybe that's something you need to know about.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just want to look out for the best, most safety tested helmet you can get. So that's also something for you to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
And then we also have, so I've been keeping an eye on the current Dakar race. And by the time this episode comes out, I think they're either going to be on their last stage or probably done. But I've been keeping up on it because I think it's really fun race to ride. I got like super into it after we did our like history of Dakar episodes a couple of years ago, and it's been really fun to like keep track of it every year. So right now, I just listed kind of like the folks that are like in lead on motorcycles, and this is as of stage 12. Like I said, by the time this airs, it might be done. But Ricky Brabec is riding with Monster Energy Honda, and is currently leading in the Rally GP category, which is like the professional motorcycle racing like category that they have. He's been in the lead for like quite a few stages now, so I predict that he's probably gonna take the win here unless something really happens.
Yeah,
something really bad happens in the last couple of stages, or the other people really make a major catch up in the end there. Then Tony Mulek with BAS World KTM team. He's the Rally 2 category lead, and Rally 2 is kind of like more amateur, smaller teams racing basically.
Yeah.
So not like a professional athlete level, but slightly below that.
Yeah.
And then Benjamin Malo is with Esprit KTM, and he's leading the original Bimoto category, which I think is probably like the most badass category because the original Bimoto category is, so those riders that are racing in that category, their only support is themselves.
That's right. Yeah.
So they can't have any outside of assistance other than riders from that same category. So they don't have like a team. They don't have like support equipment or support truck or anything that comes out to them. They're just on their own. They're fixing their bikes on their own out in the field or at the biovac whenever they get to the next like destination.
That's badass.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the only support they do get is from the Dakar organization themselves and as well from Motul. And it's basically involves like transportation of a few various items like tools. They get a box to keep their belongings in, and a bunch of other like small support pieces that the rider themselves like provide it. And then Dakar basically just transports them from biovac to biovac from stage to stage.
Yeah.
And then Motul provides them with some like camping equipment, camping gear, luggage for their bike, and also like tools and emergency like equipment.
Yeah.
That's it. The rest, to fix the bike, to sustain it, it's all up to them.
Yeah.
And I was watching like a stage this morning. It was actually cool because they have a couple of like marathon stages, and that's the one where they leave the biovac, and then once the sun sets, they have to stop. So there is a campsite that they can get to, but if they don't get to it in time,
they're just camping where they are.
They have to camp where they are. And the opening shot was literally a guy like one of the racers sleeping under a one of those like emergency reflective blankets, just out on the sand next to his bikes, helmet still on, like full gear, just like arms folded, just like waking up in the morning. And then like a few other riders that were like didn't make it to the campsite just in time to had to do that. I'm just like, that is some intense shit.
Yeah.
To just
that's
be
hardcore.
lying down like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's pretty badass.
It is.
Yeah. That marathon stage is supposed to be like one of the hardest parts, is because you're not going back to like a biovac to, you know, shower, eat proper, get your gear like cleaned and bike fixed up, tuned up, and all that stuff. Like no support on those stages, like, at all. And you have to sleep where you are. As soon as the sun sets, you have to stop. Otherwise you get penalized.
Yeah. So
it's pretty hardcore. It's pretty crazy. And I'm excited to see how it's going to end in the next few days here and who's going to take the lead. And overall, like if any of you are interested, if you go to Dakar's official YouTube channel, they have some really awesome highlights for each of the stages, each of the days of the races. They're like 10 minutes long, and they cover all the different categories, or not all the different categories, but like they switch the categories up every day. But it's a pretty good, like well-rounded highlight of the big events that happened that day. And then they also have like an hour-long highlight that they released later. Yeah. Which I'm like, that'd be cool, but for each stage, it's a little hard to keep up with watching that every day.
And it's a big event. I don't know how people have time to like stay caught up with all of it.
Yeah, and it lasts like 2 weeks. Yeah, it started at the beginning of the year.
It's a time commitment.
Yeah,
for entertainment standards. So,
but it's really cool. And once it's over, I'll be looking forward to it again next year. And it's still in Saudi Arabia this year, and I'm not sure if next year it's going to be moved or it might still stick around, but I know they move around every few years because before Saudi Arabia was in South America. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my little update. I just it's really cool like stuff. Dakar. I think it's pretty dope.
No, how you were with like when we did our Dakar history, for me it was a little bit of MotoGP, but I'm a little more casual following MotoGP just because that season pass is expensive. But
yeah, it's also just hard to follow like a lot of those racing things because
the racing times.
The race times are like either super early in the morning just because they do a local time, but then also I never know where they air, or like I have a lot of friends that are into Formula One and like the Formula One season pass, like you still have to pay for that, and I'm like, I don't really pay for that.
Well, I mean that's how it was for MotoGP, like because I had to I bought the season pass and I downloaded it and I just watched the races live like when I could wake up early enough. There was one that was like 4 a.m. for the US.
That's crazy.
Across the globe. And
but fun fact, if you are an Apple TV subscriber, Apple TV actually made a deal with Formula One to be the official like broadcaster for their races, and it's going to be included in the Apple TV subscription. So I feel like that might actually get more people, including me, into watching Formula One. And if you're a MotoGP fan, MotoGP is now also owned by the same company that owns Formula One. So if both those things appear on Apple TV,
for sure, I'd sign
I'm 100% watching, like keeping an eye on those. At least watching like some highlights, maybe not the full race, but I think it's pretty cool.
I'm watching the live. Like I always had more fun watching the races live. Because it's happening then and there versus like the recording.
I do agree,
but
but it's also hard to wake up like 4 a.m. just to watch it like super early.
Right? Yeah. Like I remember I woke up at like 6 a.m. so I could be ready to watch like the America race in 2024 when I had the pass.
Yeah, it would be cool to see one of those live as well
cool.
if they're ever like close enough not to have to fly.
Or if somebody wants us to cover it,
or that, that would be great. We would love to attend a MotoGP race.
Sick.
Somebody pay for us.
Yep. That's just kind of stuff happening like so far in the
motorcycling world.
Yeah. So, and then like another bit of news, Suzuki, which we don't really talk that much about, honestly.
Here and there.
They come up, but they're not like a brand we mention all the time, you know?
Yeah.
But for 2026, they've announced some models. The ones that I just wanted to share with you guys are the ones that I found to be the prettiest. That's their GSX 8T and GSX 8TT.
A lot of T's.
A lot of T's, yeah. They're more like retro, modern, naked bikes, kind of like calling back to like the Japanese 80s bikes a little bit. Round headlights.
You showed me a picture of like the profile view, and it's got that like short little rear end. Which does give me that like anime bike look.
Yeah, they look really cool. What I really like about these ones, like with the Hondas we've mentioned before, is that they've got like that short tucked in exhaust, not like the big giant ones that we see on
that's nice
Yamahas and everything. It's a 776 parallel twin liquid cooled engine. It's a ride by wire, so it's 3 ride modes, traction control stuff, on there. So it's not necessarily like a baseline bike at all. It's one of their middle nakeds, So, included on it is a 5-inch TFT with USB-C charging socket. And like the ride-by-wire stuff. Like I know we've mentioned it before. Like with Suzuki, they have like their SIRS system. It's like their techie stuff for their bike.
Okay.
Like Suzuki Intelligent Rider, something or other.
Yeah.
But, that's pretty much all they had available for it right now for information. Nothing on specs for like the actual output and stuff.
Okay.
What I thought was cool about these bikes though is like the way they're packaged and styled out. So like, both they come standard with the bar end mirrors, which is kind of cool. Where normally that's like a little update you have to make yourself, or unless you're buying like a expensive bike, it just really adds like that cool look to it and everything.
That retro aesthetic.
Yeah.
When we were looking at the photos, we did have a bit of a disagreement on which one we thought looked better. Yeah. You thought the TT looked better.
Yeah. So with the TT, exact same bike, just has like some more styling features to it, like color options for the wheels, like on the green color, which I think looks beautiful.
Yeah.
You can have like the gold wheel rims on there.
Green and gold, man.
Dude, just
I love that.
Melts my heart.
So much.
Yeah. So, but they got like the cool color schemes too, like the very 80s styling look on, like for how they put the little patches on the bike and everything. So, but the TT has that nice little headlight cowl and then like an under cowl, helping with wind reduction and everything. Or offering more wind protection, I should say. But I like the TT a lot with that head cowl.
I think the 1T, the T-1.
Yeah.
I think that one looks better, and it's not the cowl at the top. It's that like fairing, extra fairing, or
you don't like the bottom, the
under cowl, the little fairing on the bottom. But to me, it just looks like it's just kind of like tacked on instead of like having a flow. While the regular T without the cowl, it just kind of, to me, it like flows better.
Yeah, I don't disagree. It does look kind of like, I wouldn't mind if it was like a little bit more subdued. Yeah, but it
just like feels like it's a little too big. That's my only thing. Or I wish it would like went up a little higher to kind of hide this like square gap between.
Yeah, and for me, like I see that point, but for me, it's just like if it didn't have something on the underneath, like it just makes like the main cowl just too bulbous.
That makes sense.
So it's kind of fits nicely.
But I do agree with you that the cowl does a nice job of hiding the TFT.
Yeah, well, which was an issue we've talked about for these bikes before.
Yeah.
Like that Honda Hornet we talked about, beautiful looking, like retro styled, modern take on a bike. But that gigantic square TFT just sucks away from that.
We are not fans of square TFTs.
Yeah.
Or off-center dials.
No. Yeah. But
centered and round. If you have like a round headlight, you should have a round TFT or dials.
Yeah,
that's my take.
Yeah. And I haven't seen any pictures of like the actual TFT itself, so I don't know like what the layout's going to look like for it on there. But having that cowl on there, it really tucks everything in nice and tight. And that tail end just looks super sweet. You throw like a tail tidy on that. You're just going to look like an 80s anime motorcycle.
I do think it's cool. And looking at the price here in the notes is the T is $10,650 and the TT is $11,150, which I feel like is a fairly accessible price for that like category, especially since it does have a TFT, charging socket, rider modes. They're kind of like,
I mean, it's
a little bit middle of the road features.
Yeah, and those prices, I can't remember off the top of my head how comparable they would be to something like a Street Triple, but it's like
Street Triple, I think maybe like 12 grand,
something like that.
Just like a little bit more.
So it's like it's there. It's a parallel twin. You're not gonna be that triple or anything, but it is a middle naked entry.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Damn, I just love the way it looks. It looks really cool.
It'd be cool to try on and ride one.
Yeah, I've never ridden a Suzuki. I don't think. So
I don't think I have either.
Well, wasn't yours a Suzuki for your MSF?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so you have.
But it was like a little Suzuki van.
Yeah,
God, I love that little thing. It was so easy to ride.
Yeah,
and it had this like fat rear wheel.
Yeah,
like rear tire. So I feel like that made it like easier to balance it too.
Yeah. No, I just thought
it was a cool little retro bike.
Yeah. I just wanted to shout those two out because they look so different and like more stylized and like because normally I'd look at Suzuki bikes and I'm not the biggest fan.
Yeah, I'm not big on like the weird single center headlight.
Yeah,
and then just the black plastic.
Yeah, I've never been. They've never really. They never sang to me, but these ones do. It's like, oh, Suzuki, waking up here. So it's nice.
I do agree. They look pretty good. I do wish that TFT was round. There was like one picture he showed me of just the 8T, and it had like a little like mini windscreen right above the light. I think that would do a ton. It made it look much better just to hide that TFT from public view.
No, for sure. It's like, man, if I needed a street bike and wanted something different, I might have to try one of those out because they look awesome.
Yeah. And for our last topic. This one's going to be kind of a free ball because we thought we had more ideas for it, but then we didn't. So now we're doing it on the fly. And it's basically, I'm pretty sure we did this kind of similar thing either last year or the year before.
Yeah.
But motorcycling ins and outs for 2016. What's in, what's out. We're going to see what we can come up with live on air. But before we jump into that, if you are shopping for new gear to gear up for the next riding season, or if you want to buy yourself a New Year's treat, feel free to use our Revzilla link down in the description below. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does give us a little bit of a kickback. And if you're not planning on buying anything, you can always help support the show on buymeacoffee.com/tdtmotorcycles. And from there, you can just send us money.
Yeah, we want to support the show. Yeah.
Ins and outs. Okay, both of us kind of struggled coming up with ideas for this topic, I feel like.
Yeah.
Which, for some reason, in my head, I was just like, oh, this is going to be easy. I can think of things that should come and go.
I was thinking about it. I'm just like, I feel like I've got, like, a lot of the outs all, like, squared away and a lot of the ins, like, planned or done.
Yeah. So what are the things you have planned?
In for me is going to be, like, I'm finally replacing my indicators for, like, nice smaller metal ones, not these bulbousy
nice
plastic ones that are melting on my exhaust since the tail tidy. But it's a little bit more styling thrown in there for it. I mean, honestly, for the bike, I think that's really it. I don't need anything this year. Like, the bike is maintained, everything from there. Other than that, it's just like some gear I want to get. But
what's the gear? What's in with the gear?
I want some like proper off-road attire, like staying cooler in the summer.
Yeah.
Some nice new adventure pants that fit a little bit better.
Yeah.
God, I'm set on everything else. Like, got a new jacket that, we talked about it on the last episode.
Yeah. You got a new jacket from the Christmas party.
Yep.
That
shout out.
I
Tessa.
Unfortunately missed.
Yeah. So I'm good on a jacket. Maybe some new gloves since mine are fraying, but my biggest in/out is I want to ride like more commuting and like running errands, like not just getting out on the bike just for fun. Because I feel like in the last few years, like my riding time has gone down year by year because it's been like, it's like I don't want to ride every day.
Yeah,
which fair, but I also don't want to just ride for fun.
Yeah, that makes sense. What would you like to see come in or go away in like the industry as a whole?
Offset TFTs and dials.
Thank you. Yeah, that's on my list too.
Looking at one brand in particular. But
also, I just got to. Well, because we talked about like, I feel like we should probably do like a bigger talk on this in like a future episode. But Triumph announced that they're going to like announce like 20 something new models.
Yeah, which we are going to. We're going to do a little preview.
And they. A lot of those models kind of turned out to be just like new color schemes and like small updates, which to me, I'm like, technically it's new because it's got a 2026 in front of it, but it's like just a small little
it's
addition.
Nothing newsworthy.
It's nothing like a revamp of a model or like a whole redo or like a completely new model, except for like was it the Trident 800 or one of the ones we talked about?
The newer Trident.
Yeah, the one that's going to replace like the Street Triple R, like the base Street Triple.
Yeah,
we already talked about that one. But yeah, it's kind of like, let's not claim we're announcing like 20 something new models if it's just updated colors and like small iterations. Like, it's just the update on the model versus like. New model. Yeah, that's just my take. I feel like it's just mainly wording and marketing, which I totally get.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just feel like it's not exactly like an update. It'd be like scheme refreshes, maybe, or styling refresh.
Yeah,
like that's one thing. But I know like I don't know, but if I remember right, even like with the Bonneville updates from 2025, it was like a lot of it was like the computer stuff and safety things. Like
pretty much.
That's a significant update for road safety and everything else, but it's like, it's not a new model, which again, that's fine because the Bonnevilles don't need to be touched. They're pretty spot on.
The Bonneville is perfect.
Yeah.
It doesn't need anything.
Yeah.
And do not touch those twin dials.
No. Twin
dials are in. Analog dials are in. Center round TFTs for round headlights are in.
Just make it fit the cockpit. And
big TFTs for other bikes are fine.
Yeah, but like for these naked and style bikes, come on.
Retro bikes should have retro looking dials or TFTs.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think is out is I'm thinking of also a specific brand here, is using generative AI to announce new models and to show off new models.
Enough with the AI ads. Yeah.
Show off new models, like put someone on the bike, throw them in the desert, take some pictures, get a photographer, instead of doing these like dumbass AI clips.
Yeah.
Which...
Well, what kind of an announcement is that, right? Because it's like if you do that, it's like all you've done, you're just showing like a proof of concept. Like
essentially, like even if
like
which is weird because like when this brand created that ad, they had the bike already.
Yeah.
They like showed off the physical version of the bike, and I'm like, why not just take actual photos of it?
Yeah,
they're gonna look cooler. They're gonna look more epic. Like, I don't know.
No,
I'm also saying this as someone who also works in the field and the
advertising,
like the media field.
Yeah.
But yeah, it always like irks me when something similar or something like much better could have been achieved with an actual physical location.
Well, like a team of people actually shooting it and doing it, like versus like, oh, don't pay them. Here's just here's AI.
Yeah.
Like, they look, yeah.
Did you hear about like the Coca-Cola AI ad?
No.
Around Christmas?
No.
It was horrendous. And it was like actually aired on TV as like their critters, like Christmas critters ad. And I saw like somebody posted it online, which I don't know if it's like true or not. I saw it on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. But apparently it took them like 70,000 prompts of like generating that like video on AI, which I'm like, and then they still had to hire VFX artists to go and touch it up. And I'm like, you probably could have just hired the VFX artist to make that for you.
Yeah.
And do it. And then you have like, and that was by Coca-Cola, which the funny thing is that everyone was like dogging on this AI ad and stuff. And then like, I think a week after, Apple came out with this like Woodland Creatures ad where somebody drops, like a hiker drops an iPhone, and then Woodland Creatures come out and start filming it. And people were like, when it was like, oh, is this animated and stuff? It was puppets. It was like stop motion puppets. And then immediately they released the behind the scenes of making that. And it's people wearing like blue spandex so they can be easily like cut out of the video, like manipulating. I'm like, that was fun, creative. They made it live or physically made it on a set. And then also, for those of you that do have Apple TV, their new logo animation with like the light spectrum, like colors coming through, that was also done physically. That could have easily been a 3D render, called it good.
Yeah.
But they actually filmed that. And I'm not trying to sound like an Apple shill, even though I kind of am a little bit.
Yeah. Self-report there.
Yeah. iOS 26 sucks, so that's
that's
my rebuttal. Yeah. But like clearly these big companies have the money to physically like create these ads, and like the brand I'm thinking about, and you know which one I'm talking about, they're not a small company. They can easily go out and shoot these bikes on location, make some dope video, dope reel about them, make them look really cool, instead of using generative AI just to like have this weird obviously fake like render looking photo. I don't know, I'm not a big fan.
And you can just tell too. So
and I'm not a big fan because it's something that I'm passionate about and I like to do, and I do as a job, and I don't want others like losing their jobs because of that.
Well, I'm with you on that, because like even as like I'm not in that line of work at all, but like, you know, I am a consumer. I like motorcycles, you know, and like what I like to see in like advertisements, like, oh, is this like something I want to look into? I want to see like how it's being presented to me.
Yeah.
Like even like we've talked about it before, like old motorcycle commercials from the 90s and 80s.
They're so cool.
Stunts, like full on stunts to get those
they
footage
look
and
awesome.
everything.
They show like, look how badass you can be if you buy this motorcycle.
Yeah, right. You know,
like,
but you're just like, but if you give me like a computer rendition, like an animated AI,
bring back more narrative driven advertisements.
Like I think that's going to sell more. It's going to it's actually going to present like your product better.
I think so too.
I don't know, and like not that this is how it works, right? But like it just says to me, it's like you're not willing to put in like real effort to advertise this bike to me. Like how much effort really went into this bike? Then,
you know, that's a good way of looking at it. Other things that are in for me personally is possibly a new helmet. I'm kind of overdue for one, and I just kind of want a new one. And also pants. Yeah. Like I do actually want a new pair of pants because mine are kind of starting to show their age. They're ripped a little bit. I do want something a little bit lighter, but also I think I'm going to switch to internal armor instead of having like the armor built into the pants themselves, and just wearing like the knee armor and the padded underwear. I guess that's an in
for me too. Yeah, I want to get
instead, especially for like off-roading and stuff, because now I'm kind of starting to think like it'd be nice not to have to worry about those things like shifting mid-ride and just always constantly just being like covering the knees, covering the butt, the elbows, the hips, and just all that stuff. So that's in for me. What else is in? I feel like I'm kind of with you on my bike. I pretty much have it set up like with everything I wanted. I got foot pegs last year. I got plenty of luggage for it. I got the top luggage now, that figured out. My camera situation like figured out. There's really nothing else.
It's like it's been 5 years now?
4 years.
It's gonna
be 4 years. I bought it in 22.
Oh no, I just meant like since we've been riding and like it's like now we're finally getting we got the bikes we want to keep, and then
it took me like I bought my bike in 2022, and now I finally feel like it's fully set up, which obviously means it's time for me to start looking for a new bike.
A second one, right? Yes. or another one.
If I had a space to put a second bike somewhere, I would have a Bonneville by now. 100%.
No, it's like, and like with mine, like where I do still want to like I want to branch out more into like the off-road stuff, but like I do think I do need another, like a better off-road bike to really.
And for me, I want like a street bike for riding around town. That's not a.
Well, I also want another street bike,
adventure bike.
But I also want like a small street bike, like Bonneville, or like, hey, that Suzuki's looking pretty sweet. But
and I'm trying to think. I feel like I had an out on top of my head, but now I can't think of it. Also, Shoei releasing a new helmet, because I would like to replace mine with maybe another Shoei, because I looked at the Alpha 1X, X1, whatever frame Climb. Wasn't a fan of it. It felt like a little claustrophobic because the visor on it felt narrower than.
Arai has an aversion to transition lenses.
Arai doesn't have transition lenses. Otherwise, I'd buy one. But also, their new helmet's like $800. Which is insane. And then Liat is kind of like on my radar, so I might give them a try, see what their helmets are like. Shoei, just update the X2, make it lighter, a little more breathable. It's a really good helmet. And I can't really think of another in and out.
Yeah, I mean, like, so
out was also don't be an asshole on the bike.
Yep,
that's a yearly out.
We always
yearly out. And in is pet more dogs and wave at kids that wave at you. Yeah, because that way they'll buy a motorcycle in the future.
Okay. Oh god, these guys are cool.
So you're adding more riders to the roster.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all I got.
No, that's fair. I don't remember. Yeah, I think that's all I had as well too. I don't remember if we shouted it out or not, but I believe it was Don or somebody emailed us.
We did.
Did we shout them out at the last one? Okay, I just want to make sure.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, well, we appreciate. We like when people reach out.
Yeah.
So.
Welcome to the new year.
Yeah, and we got some stuff coming up, and
just our usual episodes.
Yeah, we'll be back at it.
Back at it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Yep. See ya.